Catchy Connie and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, we're red, white, and blue.
Yeah. How about
Good
that?
evening, KMM. I got your package and I got it all sealed up, and I'm going to the post office tomorrow. She wanted me to send her some body butter, and we decided that maybe we'd wait till the fall. You know, since it's 185 degrees with a heat index of 700 here. It might come in as oil. Cooking oil. All right. Linda, tell everybody about your weekend.
It was quiet,
Oh.
peaceful,
Oh.
no children anywhere to be seen,
Wow.
to be had, to listen to cry, whine, or bitch, because some are older. Yeah, it was an amazing weekend. It was a lay in bed and watch movies weekend.
Wow, what'd you watch?
All kinds of stuff. I actually watched the documentary of Linda Lovelace.
Wasn't she something?
Was one of them that we watched. Yeah.
If you get a chance, there's a movie we also watched this weekend, and I was trying to get people to watch it, and it was called Homestead.
It sounds familiar.
It just came out, and you can get it on the Angel Channel. Angel Channel's free, and it's called Homestead. And Clyde and I sat there watching it thinking, this is too close to home.
Wow, that's funny that you were watching something on the Angel Channel and I was watching Linda Lovelace.
Well, I guess it just depends on what is important to you at the time.
Yeah.
Linda Lovelace.
I never knew that she died when she was 53 from a
Don't tell me pneumonia.
No. No, from injuries from a car accident.
Really?
Yep. Hi, Wolfie.
Hey, Wolfie. We were you may not get body butter when I lose this bet that I'm hoping I don't lose, but you might get bath salts instead, because it's 180 degrees here, 700 degrees heat index, so it would just come to you as a pool of oil. So yeah, we can't do that. It would come in looking like baby oil. We can't go there. We can't go there. I am not going to be associated with baby oil or Glide, whatever that's, Astroglide, or any of that stuff. Lubricants of any kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, KMM, we can't do that. We can't do that because we don't want that.
I did get to see my other grandsons too.
Did you? Good.
Yeah, my daughter-in-law came by with the boys.
Good.
So that was nice. Yeah, and I have to take my older grandson tomorrow. You know, I never get a day off because tomorrow's my day off.
And then you got stuff to do?
I got to take my older grandson to his baseball game.
In the morning?
No, at night. Yeah.
You could come on with me in the morning.
We'll see.
Well, no, you don't have to. We get,
We'll see.
you know, I'll be already at the baseball game by the time I get up. Oh, you know, if
6:30.
I lose, a bet is a bet, Wolfie. That's just the way it is. A bet is a bet because that's just the way it goes. I'm good for my, if I'm going to bet it, if I believe it, it's amazing the testimony with Capricorn Clark and that whole thing. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen, and how controlling, and how heart wrenching and heartbreaking all of that was.
Do you know
You have
that she witnessed Diddy kicking Cassie from the driveway all the way to the street?
Yeah, can you imagine how long his driveway is? I mean, that's just
How
flat.
did she not get internal injuries?
I don't know. There's a good question. I'm surprised that she didn't. You know, you get a visual there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey guys, I was telling Linda, I wrote a song. While Linda's doing the proper thing and taking care of children and being a good grandma and probably baking cookies and doing all this wonderful stuff, I'm writing songs about Demon Diddy. So you know what?
Yes, she did.
She did. She did go into labor today.
Hi, Sputsy.
So
Yes, she did.
doing that and making water jugs that were before Jesus. But I told my mom that, and she just started laughing. I said, she goes, "What are you doing with all those gourds?" And I said, "We're going to paint them, and we're going to make water jugs out of them." And she just looked at me and she said, "Oh." And you guys, you know what? They really turned out beautiful. Tomorrow when they're dry, I'll show you. But yeah. Anyway, she said, "Who would carry water in something like that right now?" And I said, "Well, they did have them before Jesus.
Right?
Jesus carried his wine in one of these. No, I don't know, but it's a long time ago. But if you guys want to hear my new song, I'll play my new song for you if you want to hear my new song. But I'm not going to post it anywhere because you might come after me. But anyway, let me see if I can get it up here. Oh my God, look how cute that little boy is.
Here comes itty bitty Diddy with a smirk on his face.
Oh my God. Okay, oh my God. Okay. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. I do a lot of baking, Whoopi. I do a lot of baking. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can get this, if I can share this, if I can share this with you. Because, okay, let's see. Look at. Linda's going, "Oh my God, she's going to do it. She's really going to do it." Yep, I am. Here we go.
Here comes itty bitty Diddy with a smirk on his face. Strutting in the courthouse like it's his own place. Charged with a list that's longer than a CVS receipt. Violence, traffic, and kidnapping on repeat. Got a Gucci briefcase and a devilish grin. Trying to play the lawyer, let the circus begin. Yells at the team, "Nah, run this show." But the judge just sighs, "Boys, sit down low." Itty bitty demon Diddy, getting slick, throwing tantrums in court, acting real quick. Wants control of the script, every line, every scene. But the law don't care about your power trip. Projecting the facts like he's in a movie role. Screaming fake news while losing control. He fired his lawyer for breathing too loud and trying to cross-examine like he's making mama proud. Pulling stunts from the stands, whispering lies, acting like the courtroom's his new enterprise. But this ain't a remix or a VIP tour. It's a trial with receipts and they're hard to ignore. Itty bitty demon Diddy, chasing the spin, writing his defense like a scandalous hymn. But you can't steal the truth or outrun the past. When the feds got tapes and they're built to last. Oh, itty bitty demon Diddy. This nation said
Yes, Wolfie.
showbiz, it's a courtroom man. He said objection to time and space. Argue with a bear, got sprayed in the face. Trying to micromanage justice with a puffed up chest. But he's losing grip in his custom vest. Yeah. Itty bitty demon Diddy, your empire's cracking. Ain't no ghostwriters here, just truth unpacking. Try to control the court, but the court don't bend when you're your own downfall in the bitter end. Oh, itty bitty demon Diddy, take a bow, take a seat. This courtroom drama, it's your final beat.
Yes, Wolfie.
What did Wolfie say?
Playing with AI.
Make me want to bang my head. How fun. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? That was so much fun. I like it. I've already renamed him Itty Bitty Demon Diddy. So there you go.
I think a lot of people have.
Come on. All right. So go ahead. You tell me about what you think about Capricorn Clark and what you heard today. Because I read all of the transcripts.
She made it smutzy.
Sorry, Sputsy, don't lose any respect in me. I'm just being goofy. I thought everybody needed to laugh. Okay, go ahead.
No, I think that Capricorn Clark, I think my take on her is that she was very credible.
Yeah.
But I think the reason for the tears and everything is because she said that she had a crush on him when she was younger. Like back in 2090, in the 90s. She had a crush on him.
Yeah.
And I think he just squashed everything. You get a persona in your head of what this person would be like, and and you dream maybe to work for them or be with them or whatever. And I think she had that as I don't know if she was a older teen or young 20s. I don't know how old she was back in the 90s. But I think she just got delusional.
So she emulated him.
Yeah, I think she did. And she thought it was a good thing. And then when he started doing all that stupid stuff, and I mean, things that these people witnessed. And the worst part about it is you always have three of them in the mix: Ruben, D-Rock, and Uncle Paulie. And they never did anything to stop him from doing anything.
No.
I did watch a documentary with Bonds, and he said that he was the only one that would try to stop Diddy. Because you don't ever hear of Bonds being there. It's always Ruben, Paulie, and
Harvey Pierre.
And Harvey Pierre was the president then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think she was credible. I mean, they tried to wear her down with the why did you want to go back to work for him? But you know what? I can think of at least one job that I hated, but I loved the people I worked with.
Right.
And I would have gone back to work even though I hated the upper management.
Right.
I mean, obviously they didn't do anything like that. But, I guess he blackballed her. She couldn't get a job. She had a career.
Exactly.
She had a beautiful career going until she went with Diddy.
Exactly.
She worked for Def Jam Records. She worked for Death Row Records.
Mm-hmm.
And she must be a whiz at marketing because that's why Diddy said he'd hire her back because of her marketing.
I
So
can't either, Canon. I can't either.
I'm sorry, I'd be one of those idiots that would be trying to get in the middle and he'd probably beat my butt too. Because there's no way I'm going to stand here and watch you kick a woman down a driveway. I'm not going to do it.
No, I don't think. Okay, so let's put it this way. I think most people would have had a fit and probably jumped in, but the thing about it is the ones that didn't were the ones that were getting paid. Their housing was being paid, their food was being paid, their cars were being paid. I mean, you get involved and you lose everything, and you're jobless. And how do you know? Here's the big thing on the RICO charge, guys. He paid all these people out of the bad boys account. No, right, or at least call 911. So Capricorn Clark called her mom
Yeah, Regina.
because Regina wasn't being paid by Diddy.
But they never did let her elaborate on what happened with that.
No, they didn't.
They didn't ask her what did Regina do. They didn't ask her if police showed up. Because I know she said she was walking away because Diddy told her to leave.
Right.
And she left on foot. So, I think she wanted what was best. And I think she was trying to get Diddy out of that. But there was no getting him out of that then.
No.
There was no getting him out of that.
No.
He had been trained in his own way that mentally disturbed his brain. And I swear to God, I am so surprised that they are not going with insanity plea. I really, really, really am surprised.
Right.
Try to get out of it by insanity.
Right. With all of his background and everything else, he probably could. And like I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I said, here, these kind of cycles keep going. Okay. It was his parents. Who knows what their parents did, but it was his parents, and then it was him.
And then his sons.
Yeah. And now his sons are touching water into this. Somebody's got to get a hold of these kids and break this cycle before it's too late. We can't keep this cycle going over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
So I hope somebody puts these kids into therapy.
See, and I think that's maybe why the reason he didn't go with an insanity plea. Well, not only the narcissism, but the power, the control. Because if he said he was insane, then that would admit he wasn't in power and he wasn't in control.
Right. And all that control just made him that much hungrier. And every time he had control over somebody, it was like Miracle Grow.
Yeah,
more thirst for it.
Every time he got away with something, it was just another notch on his bedpost.
Right. Right. And then, of course, people are saying, well, what if he gets off? What if he gets off?
He's not going to get off.
Well, let's do a what if. Okay. He's not going to, it, I don't. But what if? What if he got off? Do you not think for 1 second that he would be a bigger monster than he is now?
That or he'd be dead. Somebody would take him out.
This is true. But
somebody would take him out.
He would,
because he done had people spewing names. Pharrell Williams, that came out today. I'm happy, that one that sang that. He was name dropped today. Rihanna was name dropped today. But she was on vacation with Capricorn when Capricorn got fired. They also would not allow they would not allow her to tell how much she settled a lawsuit with Diddy for wrongful termination. And they wouldn't allow her to say it because as soon as he said, "How much did you get?" There goes the objection.
Oh yeah.
And I have a sidebar. And all the defense is doing, in my opinion, is keeping it going, keeping it going. They're stalling, they're stalling, they're stalling. This is ridiculous. Just let the people answer the shit and get through with it.
They were hoping Cassie would go into labor during
Yeah.
her testimony because then everything she said would have been thrown out.
Well,
She
and
never
that's the other
finished.
thing. They're trying to get the doctor's testimony stricken. They're trying to get Kid Cudi's testimony stricken. It's like, are you kidding me? What's the purpose of going to court if you think you can get these people's testimony? What happened? This is what happened. How do you want to just throw it away? Like they're what they have to say doesn't matter. This is part of what he did.
On what grounds did they want to have it stricken? Oh, they have some kind of stupid.
Nah, I don't even know what grounds it was that they were trying to do it, but I do know that. And then they were complaining that they can't talk to Diddy after 5:30 at night because the voice television communication, whatever it's called, the VTC, that they have to talk to him through, gets shut down at 5:30 because those people leave to go home.
Well, they want him to stay late and don't get paid overtime like his people.
So, I mean, why don't you just ask the court if you can take them out for lunch or dinner or something and then bring them back to the prison when they're done at, 10, 11 o'clock. And you can do that every night. And then he can, go do drugs or whatever. Can you imagine how bad he went through withdrawals?
Oh, I can't. I can't. No.
I would have liked to have been a fly on that wall. And, I don't enjoy people suffering, but I think I would have enjoyed watching that. I think I would have.
Well, don't you kind of wonder? He suffered only 1/10 of what he put the pain out for everyone else.
Oh, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He physically and mentally hurt so many people, and then, and they brought up 50 Cent too.
Oh, yeah.
He was going after 50 Cent. Well, 50 Cent put a statement out to that. He's like, "Oh, Sean Combs has a gun. Oh, I'm so scared."
Right?
That was his comment.
Locked up. I'm so scared. He was stupid not to have taken the plea deal.
He was stupid after he saw what happened to Suge Knight. That was stupid.
Right. Yep.
Stupid.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, he can still take a plea deal.
Well, he's not going to because he believes he's above the law and he doesn't think anything he did was worthy of any of this. Because remember, this is the way he grew up. What's wrong? What's wrong with this? This is what I saw growing up. Everyone did it.
Do we really know that for fact?
Yeah, there's a lot.
I understand the mom. I understand the mom had a brothel. So yeah, you see people having sex and stuff. I just can't imagine this kind of thing happening back. Well, maybe it was the.
Yeah, because look at what happened to Judy Garland on the couch.
Yeah.
And all the others that people talk about that was way back in the day. Look at Weinstein. He had an infamous couch.
You're right.
I mean, all of this could have taken place. And Diddy's dad was a music producer. So, and he was all about that freak off thing. So Diddy learned about all of this stuff. It wasn't like he knew everything. His dad turned over the whole kit and caboodle to him. This is all yours now. Here's my empire. It's all yours.
That's my empire.
And then he put up his Diddy twist on it. His demon Diddy twist on it. I'm sure that P. Diddy's dad was not a watcher, though.
Right.
I'm sure he was participating in all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. What you pay for fame. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Time is so short. Life
Because
is so short.
people control your life. They control your finances. If they don't want you to make money, they don't book you for anything.
I did too, Sputsy. I saw that video too with Diddy's dad and Elvis. And
No,
I
I
mean,
didn't see that.
oh, I'll send it to you. It was pretty horrific, and it was the grandson talking about it. Elvis's grandson, and he had a lot of letters and stuff. I'll send it to you. It was pretty unbelievable that Diddy's dad was just as bad as his, but of course he's probably passed on by now. Or did they? No, wait a minute, wait a minute. Didn't somebody unalive Diddy's dad? I
Maybe.
think we heard that way back somewhere that Diddy's father had been unalived. Oh, for what? No one ever said. Now we know. Okay,
Right. Somebody found his ass in a dark alley.
right? You did this to my wife, or you did this to my sister, or you did. And we never hear about P Diddy's sister. He was a snitch. See, Diddy's dad was a snitch. Um, I'm not really sure. Probably a child, but then he was doing all of this stuff going on, when he was little. So he still saw some of the stuff that was going on. And of course, what was going on with his mom. I'm not giving the guy a break here. Okay. I am not giving him a break. But I am saying that somebody molded this demon into what he is. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. Although you would have thought that by the time he turned 56 years old, that he would have seen the light. And he definitely didn't see the light because he was trying to do a freak off the day before they arrested him.
Okay. He was 3 years old when his dad died.
Okay, so at 3 years old, are you
And
really?
mother always told me that he died in a car accident.
Uh-huh. But he
He
did.
died in 1972.
Okay. And someone
But
unalive.
when he got older, I hate when you have to read 1,000 different things.
It's all right.
Mm. It says here that his mother was a model and a teacher's assistant in Harlem and Mount Vernon.
Okay, so see, we all know better than that. Okay, so there you go. Don't want to tell us the truth.
Janice is defending her son. It's heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies, she wrote in a statement shared by her attorney on October 6th. To bear witness what seems like a public lynching of my son before he's had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words.
Oh, he hasn't had a chance. Well, he has a chance to prove his innocence right now, but he won't let the attorneys do their job.
Ah, okay, here it is.
All right.
Melvin died in 1972 when Diddy was 3 years old. Janice originally told the rapper his father died in a car accident, but when Diddy got older, he discovered that Melvin was a drug dealer who had been shot. Diddy only found out his father's dead from a gunfight when he started school at Howard University and looked up his dad's name in the school's library, and he shared during a commencement speech in May of 14.
So there you go. See, somewhere the truth is out there, and
His father was a hustler, which led him to learn early in life that there were only two ways out: a life of drug dealing, dead, or in jail.
Oh, isn't that something you should bring your children up on? These are your three ways of life. And here they are all on that road to demonism.
Okay, but if he was 3 years old, he didn't know
No,
that
he
only
didn't.
two ways out of a life of drug dealing is dead or in jail.
No, he was only 3, but then he had his
But that
mom.
that possibly that couldn't be. It couldn't have been influenced in his life when he was young.
No, not really. He could have seen different things.
He could have seen things, yes. And I'm by no means am I looking for an out for this man. But
No.
I'm just saying, I think after he learned what his dad did, I think he researched daddy and I think he was going to make daddy proud.
Yeah, and he was going to idolize his daddy and emulate his daddy and make his daddy look good.
But he was going to do it the right
He
way.
needs to
So
make his
he
mom
didn't-
look good. She's
yeah.
still around. Let's make
Yeah.
her look good.
He wanted to make his parents look good and that he could do all of this stuff and take care of all of these wonderful people with all of the wonderful money that he made. And it would have been a beautiful story had it ended like Elon Musk.
Right. Right.
I mean, that man could have done a lot of good, and that's what Capricorn Clark said. She said that he broke the ceiling for black people in the entertainment business. I personally don't believe that.
I don't either.
I don't believe that statement,
I don't either.
but it did give them somebody to look up to.
I mean,
You
you
know,
had Little Richard and you had
Michael Jackson, and I mean,
right.
you had
And you had
the Temptations.
you just took the words right out of my mouth. Those ones I thought of, the Temptations. And
Mhm.
you had it wasn't the Fifth Dimension, weren't they yeah. And then you had gosh, you had Chuck Berry.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I'm Smokey Robinson.
right.
Well,
Oh,
maybe
you know what? Whoopi, she got her wig off of Temu. It was on the clearance rack. They couldn't find a blonde. That's Domino, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we got all these people, and he did not break the ceiling to nothing except freak offs.
Now, if you want to say who broke the ceiling, I would throw in Flip Wilson. I would throw in
Right?
Bill Cosby.
Right. Well, and then look at him. That's
Well,
kind
I understand that, but and I would also throw in Red Skeleton.
Red Scum, right? I mean, she looks like she's wearing an O-seater. Now, Whoopi. Now,
Sammy
Whoopi.
Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. was back in the 50s, 40s.
Yeah, Sammy Davis. Yeah, he was good. Yeah, and Red Fox, and you had. I mean, there's a lot of them out there that broke the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want, okay, if you want to really get to brass tacks, who was the one that sang "Mammy"?
Oh yeah.
There's your first one.
Yeah.
What was his? Al Jolson. There you go, Al Jolson. I mean, Diddy was not the beginning to, and I guess now I guess
He was for rap.
there you go. For
And
rap.
that is the whole thing. Yes, there were fewer black people in the industry, and when all that rap came out, yeah, I think, honest to God, I think rap was our downfall. I'm sorry. There's people that love rap. I am not a rap fan. I mean, I do like some Eminem songs. But I don't think singing, or not even singing, I don't think spitting, as they say, lyrics out about guns, bitches, and hoes. I I don't I don't agree with it. I do not agree with that kind of that's not something to be proud of.
My mom
You know?
called it snake charmer music.
Well, yeah, exactly, because it's drugs and there's a lot of look at the East Coast, West Coast fight for hip hop. That's stupid. That's how Biggie and Tupac got killed. How stupid. You're on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast. Stay where you are. What do you care? Why did the New Yorkers have to go to LA? Why did they have to do that? Why?
Abuse. Abuse.
No, because they wanted to show that they were just as big time as they were in LA.
Well,
And
okay, how about Tina Turner?
yeah,
Ike
and
Turner.
Ike. Yeah.
And how about Donna Summers?
Mm-hmm.
And
Diana.
Diana Ross and the Supremes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this was all before Diddy.
Just look at Motown Records. There you go.
There you go. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And Diddy was nowhere. Diddy was a twinkle in his parents' eyes
Yeah.
when Motown started.
And those people worked hard. They worked hard
They
for their
did
family.
work hard. They did work hard.
And
They broke the ceiling.
They worked hard to get that stereotype gone from them.
Right. And they broke the ceiling.
I mean, did they have problems? Yeah, sure they did.
Right.
You know, one of them's dad killed him when he was young and upcoming. I can't remember which one from Motown it was. But, you know, I had that. You can't take somebody out of the ghetto. You can take somebody out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of them. And
Right.
I'm not saying just black. I'm talking white too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's some trailer trash people.
Oh yeah, there's white trash out there too.
Oh, lots of it.
You know, I mean, look at the mobs. They're no better.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
So I no, I don't think I think the only influence he had was on rap. And I think that that was the most dangerous music that ever came out.
No, he wasn't from the ghetto, but you know they consider the way he acts to be ghetto.
He was from Harlem.
Was he really? Wow. Well, you know, ghetto doesn't have a color on it.
Exactly. It's a word.
No,
It doesn't have a color on it.
no, it does not have a color. I have seen some pretty ghetto white people. Whew.
You know me both. I mean, look at some of the look at the illegals that come over here. Some of the Mexicans and some of the El Salvadorians. I mean, they're just as ghetto can be.
Right, right. Well, and there's ghetto out there. I'm telling you. I have a really, really super close friend of mine that calls her neighbor a redneck. A redneck hillbilly, and I think he's Hispanic. But I'm just saying, it's
Right.
out there. It's all out there, you guys.
Right.
And it doesn't have a color on it. It's all there.
Well, see, and the point I'm trying to get to, Donna, exactly, is that these are wannabe gangsters. They're wannabe gangsters. And in real time, go up against the mafia and see what happens. I dare you. I dare you. Because I bet you would have had cement and thrown in the East River.
Right, right, right. Oh, yeah, they didn't mess with anybody. Oh, Scarface. Do you know today, dig this, and I thought, when I heard it, I thought, what? Who said that? That they're comparing the Diddy trial to Al Capone. I'm like, where? Where can you even come close to comparing the two? They're nothing alike.
No.
Nothing alike. You know, Al Capone right now is turning over and over and over in his grave because he's like, look, I worked really hard for this.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And it's like, you know, I mean, come on.
Yeah. No.
They're just wannabe gangsters. They're wannabe mobsters. They flash a gun. Well, that'd be like me going around flashing my gun. What am I trying to prove? That I'm cool? That I'm gangster?
Yeah, no.
No, I have it for protection. I
No.
don't have it to threaten people.
No. No. Well, and they're saying that about Carmelo Anthony. Frisco, Texas is a suburb outside of Dallas, and it's a very well-to-do area. And he was throwing his symbols, whatever they are, however you say them, whatever they are. Um, he was throwing those signs up on Facebook.
Okay.
You know, he was throwing those signs up and wants to be all gangster,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's
I mean, and where do you get us saying if you wear a certain color? Come on. I'll wear any damn color I feel like wearing. Are you gonna kill me because I don't know what I'm wearing the wrong color?
Well, I didn't know they all own the different colors. Hello, little one. Hello, little one.
Daddy's
Look,
putting the other
he's
one to
so
bed.
happy with his Nona. So yeah, don't tell me colors. And then of course, then you've got those how you throw up your hands. I'm sure one has the peace sign. I mean, I don't know. So we used to do this at rock concerts. They're
Right.
probably doing symbols now too. So
Right.
you just don't do that, and definitely you don't do it if they're going to throw you in prison, because then
Right.
they say, well, now you're in prison and you're with us and you were throwing up the gang signs. What?
You know what? You know what, Donna? My dad used to run moonshine. Does that make me a gangster's daughter? No.
Your
No.
dad, your dad made moonshine?
Yeah, he ran moonshine.
I bet it was good.
I don't know because my
Darn it, I wish I'd have met your dad.
the story is that he was running moonshine with one of his friends, and I never met him, but his name was Sonny. And my grandmother, thank you. My grandmother told my mother to get my father and get him out of Pennsylvania, or he'd end up in jail for life. So they moved back to Michigan. They met here. My dad moved back to Pennsylvania, and then my dad came back here. And when they got married, they went to Pennsylvania to meet everybody, and then they stayed here. Hang on one second. I got to get a towel.
So everybody has something like that, right, in their family, or my dad, not my dad, wore cowboy boots and looked just like Clint Eastwood. I am not joking with you. I've told that story many, many times that people, guys wanted to honk the horn and wanted me to run outside because they didn't want to meet my dad. And he said, nope.
Well, I mean, and with my grandfather, we never really knew because my grandfather was Italian and his parents were right from the boat. I mean, and they were teenagers when they came over. But, when he dressed up, he had the spat shoes and the fedora hat, and he dressed in a suit and an overcoat, and you would have swore he was part of the mafia. And
See?
I know that he used to hang around with some of the people from the Purple Gang. He
The
was friends
Purple
with.
Gang.
Yeah, it was big in Detroit.
I don't know who that
Big
is.
mafia in Detroit.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, who knows?
And look how you turned out.
Right.
Yeah, you weren't over there having no freak off parties.
Exactly. My dad ran moonshine, and my grandfather could have been part of a gang. I don't know.
And you didn't have no speakeasies hanging out, right? See, I mean, I'm cutting Diddy a little bit of a break, but I think by the time he turned 56 years old, I pray that somebody has already intervened. I don't know. Jeez, it's a lot to wrap your head around. But I do know this: if he got off of this trial, it would only create the biggest monster you have ever seen. Because then he really would believe that he is above the law.
Well, and I don't think he's that lucky 5 to 1%. I don't think so. Because they don't take you to trial unless they've got you.
Right.
And this
Right.
is only the beginning. They're just now starting to get into the RICO.
Right. Right. And they've got 4 more weeks.
Right.
Right. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the more we hear every day, it is one more spark that you're like, you know, you think at my age anyway, I don't know how Linda feels, but at my age, when I go to sleep at night, I think, okay, I have now seen it all, heard it all.
Right.
There's no one can surprise me because I think I've seen it, heard it all by now, right? Especially
Right.
recently. And then you wake up and you hear something and you go, are you kidding me?
I remember when I found out about orgies and I was absolutely appalled.
Well, I didn't hear about swingers and their green door light post or whatever. Their door lights were green or whatever. Didn't ever hear about no swingers until I was like way into my late 40s
Yeah.
or older.
Yeah. Well, I lost a friend over crap like that because she said that they were there. It was a sex toy party, and she wanted me to go with her, and I didn't want to go. And my husband at the time, he's like, "Just go," and I'm like, "All right, whatever." So we went. No, no, it was not a sex toy party. No, it was people here, there, and everywhere
Doing
having
their
sex. And somebody walking you through and saying, well, you can be part of this, blah 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 blah. And I actually walked out and I called my husband and I said, come get me.
yeah.
I said, this is not even funny. And I never talked to her again.
Do you know what's funny about we never I grew up in the sticks and little bitty one horse towns. They didn't do that kind of stuff where I came from. You know, I mean,
Well,
that's
I mean,
insanity.
I would have never thought anything like that was going on right down the street from where I worked. I mean, where I lived.
No,
I
no,
mean, I was less than 2 miles away from my house at a hotel.
yeah, no. Well, I'd probably be
Yeah.
surprised what's going on around my neighborhood. I don't know about because I don't talk to my neighbors very often. In
Yeah.
fact, I couldn't tell you what any of their names are. If I saw them at the grocery store, I couldn't even tell you except for the one that keeps sticking his nose in my face that
Yeah.
sees neighborhood watch. Now, I mean, no, you don't know what's happening next door to you.
Mm-mm.
Well, we did. We grew up sheltered. Nobody talked about this kind of stuff, you know. The only okay, so I didn't learn about intercourse until I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh, we had sex education at a Catholic school in 8th grade.
Yeah, no, we didn't have that until I was a sophomore in high school, and everyone started laughing. But
And I'll
in the
proudly
sixth
say I
grade,
failed the male anatomy.
you did. Well, they taught us about what it was to become a woman when I was in the 6th grade. They took us all off and said that, and and what's really funny is most of those girls in the 6th grade never knew what it was to be a woman at that point.
Right.
Um, but I mean, we lived sheltered lives,
Right.
and now here this is what they're saying. They think that kids younger should learn more and they should be introduced to this younger so that they won't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Maybe.
I mean, is that what happens? Or does it make them more promiscuous?
Ah, there you go.
Right? Right? I mean, Oh no, they were swingers. They were swingers. And they were telling me about, you know what? I didn't know they even have swinger bars.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all these things that I learned way later in life, that you could go to these bars and now see, Spudsy, now maybe I'll introduce you to something you didn't know about, because I sure didn't know about it. They have these bars, and you go in there and it's a regular bar, and then you go upstairs and they have wall to wall beds, and everybody's doing their thing and everybody's trading off, and then if you want to be a swinger, you can become part of. That's where the upside down pineapple thing came in.
Mm.
That if you have an upside down pineapple, it says that you're a swinger, and you show it on the outside of your house. You know, I mean, right, Woofy? It's disgusting, and people, they're just like all okay with all of that. Where's the morals there?
Well, think of this. How many people were divorced
See, Spudsy?
over it?
Or people that weren't married,
Well, I'm just saying, think about that. What about these
right?
men that wanted to do it and they forced their wife to go? And, how many people got divorced over that kind of stupid shit?
A bunch.
It was in the 40s.
It
Yes.
was. And then they took the word swing and turned it into swinger. And then you became the person that had the upside down pineapple sign on the outside of their house,
Right.
and had a green porch light. Now I remember learning when I was like really young about the red porch light.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's their symbol, Spudsy, the upside down pineapple. I guess if you don't know what an upside down pineapple stands for, then you're not a swinger. Well, knowing me, I would get a picture, and if I decided the pineapple looked better upside down, I would put it upside down, and then they would think that, and they would be. I mean, I'm telling you guys, you're afraid to say anything or wear any clothes that,
Right.
because either you're a part of a gang, or the colors are wrong, or the symbol is there, and it's like, dude, what happened to why can't we just be us?
Right. Right. I don't know. Oh, thank you, KMM.
He's usually a good boy.
Yeah.
He just got
He
to his
just gets
own.
by an angel before he was born.
Oh, does he have his little birthmark on the back of his neck? That's funny.
Yeah.
That's where mine's at.
Yeah.
He is good. He's really good. So from now on, everybody, if you see and you go to a house that has an upside down pineapple on the outside of the house, run, get in your car and run. You know, that forest,
Right.
run,
Right.
forest, run. Yeah, run as fast as you can, get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's things out there that they have little symbols for, and you're like, wow,
Right.
you know,
Right.
who would know unless they were a part of it?
Right.
You okay, ma'am? I learned about the red porch light years ago. The red porch light is a house of ill repute, right?
It's like the red light district.
Yeah,
Sure, you had to have heard about the red light district in downtown areas.
right. If you have a red porch light, it's a house of ill repute. And if you have a green porch light, they're a bunch of swingers. You know, so you got the
Mm-hmm.
swingers, the hookers,
Right.
all changing their porch lights. I don't know. I'm not going to put any colored porch lights on my house. We put a blue one up to support the blue, and I told my husband, "Are you sure that blue light doesn't stab or something? Because you need to take it down. Somebody weird might be knocking on our door."
Actually, what did you say your blue light was for?
Supporting the blue.
Oh, yeah, ours is for the fallen blue.
Yeah,
We had a canine that got shot and killed, and I swear to God, the whole city had blue lights in their porch lights.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see driving down the street, you know.
Right? Especially if you know what it's for.
But that was in my mom's city. But, you know, it was still cool.
Well, it's not so much that we're sheltered. It's our parents didn't want us to know that kind of stuff. You know?
KMM, they may have an LED light and you can change it with a remote or on your phone.
I've got a guy across the street that has lights all around his house, and he runs them off of his phone, and he can do them different colors for whatever holiday season.
So does Earl. Earl has that too.
Yeah, and he's all happy about all that. But he better not be putting up no weird colored porch light. That's a neighborhood watch. I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I know Linda's getting ready to go back to work, guys. So I guess we're going to cut this right now. But I will see you in the morning around 10:30. We'll start all over again. Now, one of these mornings, I'm not going to be able to be here. Well, we'll see. We'll see, because I've got to get my daughter to the airport. She's going to go visit the East Coast, depending on the weather, because, you know, the East Coast up around Massachusetts is not having the best weather right now. So, you know, and flights are getting canceled all over the place. So, but I'm going to try to be here every morning that I can. So I love you, ladies. I love everybody in this room. Y'all take care. And
hit the like on the way out.
Click like on your way out. And if you're not subscribed, look at me. Me and Daffy Duck. And we will see you in the morning. Good night.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
From shady news to crime so rough, you already know we just can't make this stuff